The members of his cabinet had some choice words about Portland during a roundtable meeting at the White House yesterday.
The administration is still trying to send National Guard troops to Portland's ICE facility. Fox 12's Mackenzie Richmond joins us live from there now. Mackenzie, Portlanders not agreeing with the president's comments.
Yeah, President Trump is still calling the city of Portland, specifically this scene right here along McAdam Road, right in front of Portland's ICE facility, a war zone. Well, this is exactly what it looks like right now. We are live. There is only one person out here. Occasionally, when someone does drive through the front gates of the facility, all that person is doing is giving a thumbs down, but no yelling, very peaceful, very calm, just sitting there. Now, the police tape that maybe you've seen that had once blocked off this area since Tuesday when DHS Secretary Kristi Noem came to visit, well, it's now gone as well. We have confirmed it was the mayor's decision to remove it after pressure from city councilors in an emergency session. They argued the barriers weren't necessary, but the Trump administration, as I mentioned, is still calling this area a war zone. At a roundtable meeting just yesterday at the White House, Trump described Portland as a, quote, bombed out city with, quote, bombed out people and fires all over the place. But that description does not match what we've been seeing here or how locals describe the city.
It's nothing but slander. Portland is a beautiful city.
Peaceful, quaint, quiet, not much seems to be going on.
It's an awesome city. It truly is.
Even at businesses near the ICE facility, like the Growler Guys bar just down the street, it was business as usual last night, even with a few dozen protesters here on the scene. Now, workers there told us protesters that they typically see in a day are small groups made up of mostly older men and women. Locals told us they felt safe, and many said the loudest thing that they've noticed in the area is actually the sound of helicopters overhead, not the protesters themselves. Now, last night, however, Portland police did say they arrested 4 people, all just a block away from the facility on South Bancroft Street. 3 were booked for harassment, and then 1 man was arrested twice. First for allegedly flashing a fake gun from his car, and then later for shining a high-powered blue laser at police. Now, he is now facing a charge of recklessly endangering officers. So yes, 4 arrests last night, but no major clashes, no fires as you can see right now, and no activity except for the 1 person sitting outside, now standing outside the building here outside the ICE facility. Of course, if anything does change throughout the morning, we'll be here all morning live, bringing you those updates both on air and on our Fox 12 News app. But for now, reporting live, I'm Mackenzie Richmond for Good Day Oregon.
Mackenzie, thank you. Now, ahead of today's major hearing, we are also following new legal developments in federal court.
Fox 12 investigative reporter Adrian Thomas has the latest as the Trump administration appeals a judge's order for a 2-week pause on deploying the National Guard to Portland.
So all eyes will be on a 3-judge panel in the 9th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals Thursday as they decide whether to block a lower court's temporary restraining order on the National Guard deploying to Portland. That panel of judges issuing an order this afternoon saying that those 200 National Guard members can remain federalized but can't deploy to Portland until an appeals decision is made. Now, a short time ago, Governor Tina Kotek released a statement on these developments, reading in part, quote, importantly, this order keeps the Trump administration from military intervention in Portland. The facts on the ground have not changed. There's no need for military intervention in Oregon. There is no insurrection in Portland, no threat to national security. Oregon is our home, not a military target. I ask that Oregonians who want to speak out do so peacefully. Now, we sat down with a local legal expert on what we can expect next in the federal lawsuit playing out between President Trump and Oregon. As the Trump administration appeals an Oregon federal judge's decision for a temporary restraining order on National Guard troop deployment, federalized Oregon guardsmen and women await potential orders. In the appeals process, the Trump administration is citing another 9th Circuit Court ruling from this summer over Trump's deployment of the National Guard to Los Angeles amid protests over ICE. In that ruling, the appellate court overturned a lower court's temporary restraining order, which allowed the National Guard deployment in L.A. to continue. Lewis and Clark law professor Tung Yin weighs in on the president's argument.
Well, they have an argument, and so, this is what lawyers do. You look for cases, precedents that have results that you like, and you say that, oh, our case is just like that. But the facts on the ground also matter. And so, as I understand it, in LA, there were already more violent acts, let's say, taking place.
Yin says in regards to the Oregon case, the appellate judges will look at exactly what has happened on the ground here in Portland, and that will ultimately factor into their decision.
It's the same statute, but the factual question is different because here in Portland, you have to ask, okay, regardless of what happened in LA, are the conditions on the ground in Portland appropriate for invoking that particular statute? And so you have to look at, what is the danger to the ICE building?
Professor Yin also added that the legal battle is far from over, and regardless of what happens in the appeals court Thursday, the case will head back to the lower court in Oregon on October 17th, where Judge Karen Immergut will hear arguments over whether the temporary restraining order will be extended.
That was Adrian Thomas reporting. In Chicago, officials say a small number of National Guardsmen and women from Texas are protecting federal property in the city. This is a look at protests from last night. A military spokesperson says about 200 Texas National Guard members are working in the Chicago area since they arrived Tuesday. Leaders in Illinois are also suing the Trump administration for troop deployment. That hearing is set for this morning as well. Be sure to stay with Fox 12 for the latest developments regarding the status of the National Guard deployment. We'll also have a live report on the court hearing between the Trump administration and the state of Oregon starting at 8 o'clock this morning. Again, the hearing starts at 9. As soon as there's a decision or an update, we will, of course, let you know. And in between newscasts, you can also stay connected on our Fox 12 app.